The government has aimed to provide clean drinking water to all households on a priority and on a sustainable basis. What are the plans that you've formulated to ensure that this target is met?
See, first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to go to the public through the Rajya Sabha TV. The first thing which was required and is done by the Honorable Prime Minister is integration, as you rightly said, because water was being dealt at in various ministries under various heads. So just to give and to treat the water subject in holistic manner, it was much required to integrate and bring it under one roof. So that has been done. And the second thing, the call which we have taken, that our Prime Minister's call during the elections also, that Har Ghar Nal Se Jal. For that, we have made a road map. First of all, we have identified the total number of districts, total number of blocks where the groundwater situation is either critical or comfortable. So wherever it is comfortable, we are going to make localized schemes, and wherever it is critical, so to create sustainable sources or identify sustainable sources or whatever sources we are having, to make them sustainable, we have taken a program under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, that is Jal Shakti Abhiyan. And depending upon the data given by Central Groundwater Board on the basis of 2017 figures, we have identified almost 1500 plus blocks of 256 districts, and we have taken a Jal Shakti Abhiyan.
Yes.
Because to address the water issues, we all are aware that water, as far as the drinking water or potable water is concerned, we are in India, we as a country are in very critical position, because we are carrying almost 18% of the population of the world and 18% of the livestock population of the world, whereas the total water, potable water, what we have got is only 4%. And that too is the most contaminated, if I say, as on date. So for the water security in longer run, it is much required that we just strengthen the water holding capacity on surface and under the surface in the aquifers, because all the studies says that in last couple of decades and couple of years, year by year, our groundwater is depleting. So we have taken that program Jal Shakti Abhiyan. Joint Secretary and above level officers of working in Government India, engineers from Central Water Commission, and hydrogeologists from Central Groundwater Board and other officers. We have created a team and asked them to go to the critical districts and blocks. They will go there, they have already gone there, rather I should say, and till 15th September in first phase, they will be putting up there, and they'll take a couple of programs there. First, to identify how to recharge the groundwater, what are the traditional water bodies which are supposed to be strengthened, how to do the IEC activities for creating awareness, and to get to this Jal Shakti Abhiyan, to make it a Jan Shakti Abhiyan. So Jal Andolan becomes Jan Andolan. For that we have taken an initiative. So, and Honorable Prime Minister's guidance is that number one, sustainability of sources there, as you rightly said. Second thing is the pipe water to each and every household, and the third thing is treatment of the discharged water from the household. So that is also required, and we are taking care of that simultaneously.
Mr. Sekhavat, it's a mammoth task, and water primarily is a state subject. How do you plan to provide handhold support to states to expand the coverage of clean drinking water from 18% currently to 100% by the year 2024?
When I was assigned this ministry, the right 7th day, we have called a meeting of all the states, the ministers dealing in drinking water, ministers dealing with the groundwater or irrigation, or ministers dealing with sanitation. In some of the states there are two persons dealing, some of the states there are three persons or one person, or and the secretaries dealing these departments. We did a whole day workshop, sat with them and exchanged their ideas and asked them to create DPRs and the project reports, that how and we can do this, we can achieve this target, number one. And to create awareness, Honorable Prime Minister himself have written a letter to all the elected sarpanchs throughout the country, almost 2.5 letters been sent, and he requested the district collectors and the sarpanchs to organize a Gram Seva dedicatedly for water conservation. So, the two things we have taken simultaneously within 10 days, and I think that is the kick start of the preparation of this scheme.
And how is your ministry gearing up to avert Chennai-like crisis in future?
See, Chennai crisis is an example for us, a case study for us rather I should say, because this year the monsoon was very bad, and there are 4 reservoirs in Chennai which supplies the water to the entire Chennai city. 3 of them are completely dried up.
Yes.
And the 4th one, which is being replenished by a canal through a dam, Sri Salem Dam, but the dam doesn't have water, so that is also a challenge. But to deal with all these type of situations, state will have to come with their proposals. We'll handle and we'll come out of this phase.
But there's a bigger problem to this. It is estimated that by year 2030, the water demand would be twice the available supply. What is the specific plan for conservation of water and replenishment of aquifers?
See, in India, the total precipitation what we have every year is almost 4,000 BCM. And the water bearing capacity in all the reservoirs in the country, all the large medium reservoirs, they are almost 5,000 in numbers, plus the other smaller water bodies which are being used for irrigation. If I club all of them, then it is less than 300 BCM. So, total 4,000 BCM water which is precipitated in the country, we are holding only 300 BCM water into our all reservoirs. As far as the aquifer recharge and replenishment of aquifer is concerned, that is also somewhere around 450 BCM. So, still it is less than 10% what the mother nature is giving, we are able to procure. So, our plan is to harvest more and more water from what we receive from the precipitation, and to recharge more and more water under the ground. That is how we can come out of this problem. And the second thing is, wherever in the world where the countries or the cities have come out of this problem is through the proper water management. And for proper water management, what is required is that judicious use of water,
Yes.
number, harvest of rainwater and recharge in the ground, and the third thing is reuse of water, and fourth thing is afforestation. We are taking all these 4 things all together.
Talking about Ganga rejuvenation, the government has already sanctioned around 298 projects of 28,000 crore rupees. When do you plan to complete this Herculean task of cleaning river Ganga?
So, it is a permanent feature, it is a continuous feature. I will be there or not, or you will be there or not, but the Ganga will be there always. And cleaning of Ganga will be always there, they are an issue. But still, the way which we have taken up, this is for the first time in the last centuries. Though in 1985 Ganga Mission 1 was taken up by the governments, and before we came into the power in 2014, it was like 4,000 crores rupees was spent, but there was no result. But to take this Ganga cleaning project in holistic manner, this Ganga Mission was launched by Honorable Prime Minister, And as you said that we have taken 298 projects, but still since the water is a state subject,
Yes.
so the projects are to be commissioned and completed and executed by the state bodies. But the states which are doing it in speedy manner, they achieve better results. See, if I say up to Uttarakhand, up to Rishikesh, I should say, I am pretty sure that by the end of this year, there will be no raw sewage discharge in river Ganga. But as far as the Uttar Pradesh is concerned and the states down the line, Jharkhand is okay. Jharkhand by November 2019 will be completing all the projects. But Uttar Pradesh and Bengal and Bihar, still we have to go a long way, and I think it will take 2 more years to create the capacity along the river. But it's good that Honorable Prime Minister have given us a margdarshan that not only Ganga river, but complete Ganga basin you have to take care. So we are creating capacities on the river, all the tributaries like Yamuna and their tributaries. All that we are working on that. Day before yesterday only we have laid a foundation for the country's largest sewage treatment plant in Delhi.
Right. Also, Finance Minister talked about developing and creating water grids on the line of power grid in the country. What would be the contour of such a water grid?
So it is much talked about that integration of river is water grid. We have identified 30 plus total river links, and we are working, and some of them are at DPR stage, some of them are at the execution stage, some of them are still at the statutory compliances stage. So we are working on that.
Water linking, of course, has been the focus of your government, and the task force was also set up in 2002. But then the process has to be expedited. How do you plan to fast track the entire process?
See, it is very complicated. States will have to come on board, statutory compliances are required, the ecological studies are required. So, and no basin in the country is having surplus water except monsoon or flood times.
That's right.
So that also has to be taken care. Some of the rivers and links are affected by international treaties also. So all the things are to be taken care.
So
but
how do you plan to get all the stakeholders on board?
Still we are working, and that's why we are burning midnight oil for that.
Absolutely. Talking about Jal Abhiyan that you talked about, how do you plan to implement it in all districts of the country?
See, first phase we have taken 256 districts, but the remaining also we will be taking, but states will have to come on board. There are couple of states, like I must appreciate the program of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh as they have taken. Though the limited number of districts were there in the list, but both of the states, they have announced that we will be doing the same in all the districts. We will be replicating this model with all their state officers in all the districts. That is how each and every state will have to come on board, and rather I extend it that each and every citizen of the country will have to come on board. Sabko saath aana padega, then only it can be achieved.
Mr. Sekhavat, Swachh Bharat Gramin is also a very important element of your ministry. We understand it is a demand-driven scheme, and also the fact that around 30 states and union territories have been declared ODF. Do you think that you'll be able to achieve the target well before 2nd of October 2019?
Not only think, I am pretty sure. I am confident that 100% will achieve it. 100%. And we have taken one step further. Honorable Prime Minister instructed us to take ODF plus from the next coming years, and in ODF plus we are going to create infrastructure and facilities for treatment of wastewater, treatment of fecal sludge, the management for fecal sludge, and management of solid waste in the villages also.
Lastly, Mr. Sekhavat, Prime Minister Modi gave a clarion call during his Mann Ki Baat address, urging people to make water conservation a Jan Andolan on the lines of Swachh Bharat mission. What kind of impact would it have on the behavioral pattern of people of India?
So the success of Swachh Bharat mission, which was the largest behavioral change program ever seen in the world. It was a behavioral change for 50 crore people. So with this example, and success story created by that. We are confident that we will be able to do this for this also.
So that's all we had for you in this edition of To The Point.